This video will demonstrate how to use the HMR plotting through the cart to print out a Microstation drawing. For this example here, we basically have a strip map of the whole entire job, but also we have some transparent shapes that are contained inside our drawing. And if I zoom into that area, you will see the transparent shapes that are out there. There are only a couple of ways to print out files in Microstation and get the transparent shapes to show up. One way is to use the HMR plotting, which is going to be presented in this video, or another way is to create a PDF drawing of the Microstation file, and those instructions are also out on the CAD wiki. If you use the regular MoDOT plotting routine, of course it would print out the drawing, but your transparent shapes that you have out here would come out solid instead of having the transparency applied to it. To print out this strip map, for our example that we have here, first thing that we need to identify is what area do we need to print. And to do that, we need to place a fence out there. So I will go and select the Place Fence tool. And since I already have the shape out there, I'm just going to go ahead and snap to this lower left corner of it, accept it, and then now I'll go to the upper right hand corner of it, snap to it, and I'll get my fence out there defined. Let's go to the add-ons pull down and let's load up the carts. So I'll select it. Whenever you do that, it's just going to go ahead and load up the cart toolbar. Now we need to load the cart. So we'll go ahead and select this icon right here that says load to cart. And it will load the cart and also bring up the raster manager. We don't really need it open, so we can actually go ahead and close it down. But then once the cart is loaded, we can utilize the HMR plotting that the cart has. So we'll go ahead and select the cart plotting HMR. Inside here we need to identify what plotter we want to print to, what the location is, what the paper size, and the color. I'm going to go ahead and print it to the OSE plotter. You just identify what plotter that you want to print to. Next thing is the location, whatever location that you want to print to. I'll go ahead and leave mine set to CAD support. Next thing is what size paper do you want to print this out as. B size, D size, long, depending on what the plotter can handle. For this example, since I'm going to go ahead and print out the whole entire plan, I'm going to go ahead and select long. That way I get the whole entire job as a long strip map. And then last but not least is the color. Do you want it in black and white or do you want it in color? For this example, I'll just go ahead and leave it set to color, since this plotter can handle color prints. Once you have all those parameters defined, go ahead and click on OK. And this will bring up the next dialog box. Inside here we need to check a few things before we actually create the plot. First thing that we need to look at is this option right here that says Rasterized. And what that does is, if you have that check marked on, any shape that you have out there that has a transparency applied to it, it will see that transparency and print out with the transparency turned on. If you have that unchecked, what it will do is any of those transparent shapes that you have out there, it'll just come out as a solid fill instead of having the transparency applied to it. So that's one thing that you want to check before you print the drawing out. Since we have transparent shapes that are contained inside this file, I'm going to go ahead and check mark that box. Another thing that I'm going to go ahead and check is the print attributes. What's going to be printed and what's not going to be printed. And to get to that box, there's two different ways. One way is you can select this icon right here that says print attributes, or you can go to the settings pull down and go to print attributes. Both ways are perfectly fine. And this will bring up the print attributes dialog box. Inside here you have to look and see what's going to be printed and what's not. You'll see here that line weights is unchecked, so if I were to send this print out right now, all my lines would look exactly the same. There would be no weight assigned to them. I want weights assigned to them, that way I can see the thicker line styles and the thinner line styles, so I will go ahead and check mark that box. Another thing is the transparency. I want to have it checked on since I have some shapes that are out there that have a transparency applied to them, so I'll go ahead and leave that checked on. And then one that I'm going to go ahead and uncheck is this one right here that says print broken associations with different symbology. That way, if there was a leader that was assigned to something and then somebody moved it, it wouldn't have that broken association assigned to it. So I will go ahead and uncheck that one. And probably in most situations, this is what you'll probably want your dialog box to look like. These are the ones that you'll probably want to have checked on, and the ones that are unchecked will probably be the ones that you want to have unchecked also. That way it prints out like it should. There may be times where you have some other options in here checked on or checked off, but for the most part, this is probably exactly what you'll want it to look like. So once you have those attributes set up the way you want it, go ahead and click on OK. Now, once you've done those two, you're ready to go ahead and print it. So we'll go to the File pull down and you can select Print, or you can go ahead and select this option right here that says Print, the print icon. What it's going to do is save a plot drop file out there. Since I'm working through ProjectWise, it's going to want to save it in ProjectWise first. We need to save the plot drop file out on the T drive under a folder called plotdrop_nt. To get to that folder out on the T drive, this first dialog box here, since it's looking inside ProjectWise, let's go ahead and cancel that box. And then now you should be able to save it out on the network somewhere. It should automatically go to the T plotdrop_nt folder. If it doesn't, you may have to browse to it. But that's where you want to save that file to. Once it's set to that location, go ahead and click on Save. You may get this box right here that says Microstation, Print in Progress, Rasterizing, Tiles, something of something. Just go ahead and leave that go until it actually produces that plot drop file. Depending on the size, it may take a little bit of time, but just let it run. Now, once it's finished building that plot drop file, you will get the MoDOT Descartes plotting dialog box. You'll see the plotter, where it's going to be sent to, what the location is, what the paper size is that you previously defined, and also the color, and where the plot drop file is at. You'll identify how many copies that you want. More than likely, you'll probably just do one copy, so we'll leave it set to that. And then if you're finished with it and you are ready to send it, go ahead and select the Send button, and it will send it to that plotter and print out that strip map or that file that you're working with. That is how to use the HMR plotting through Descartes